Point. Hello, friends and enemies, and those who've yet to decide. Welcome to Girls Who Run These Worlds. Thank you so much for joining our 6th session of Alien. I know, I can't believe I'm still here. It's amazing. No, you haven't taken me off yet. My name is Fiona. I use she/her pronouns, and I have the incredible honor and the privilege to be this season's game mother of Alien for this incredible cast. Now, before I ask our wonderful cast to introduce themselves, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about Alien, the game we're playing today, about what the stream is at the top of the session. So, the Alien RPG is published by Free League, also known for some cracking RPGs such as Tales from the Loop, Vaesen, depending where you're from, I guess, Coriolis, Dragonbane, and many, many more. I'm a massive fan of these games. I'm a massive fan of sci-fi and a massive fan of horror. So all of this in Alien, love it. So as always, if you enjoy watching this game, if you enjoy watching these players play this game, and you're like, I want to be just like them, well, just check the link in the chat and you can grab a copy of the game there. So, and of course, a massive thank you to Free League for sponsoring the stream. Now, with all that in mind, and I know I say this every time, so I do sound like a bit of a broken record, but I will always say this every time. The world of Alien is incredibly bleak. It's a very dark place with a lot of focus on mature dark themes, horror, and violence. All the good stuff, really. Now, obviously, with all campaigns we run here at Girls Run These Worlds, we have had our session 0, we've gone over our lines of veils, we've done our checking, and we are ready to go. And we also have safety tools in effect. However, I just want to give you out there, yes, you, I'm pointing at you, the viewers of this wonderful, wonderful stream, permission to be like, oh, no thanks, and step away from the story. Because as I always say, you are more important than the story being told or the dice being rolled. So please take care of yourself. Certainly as we're coming to the tail end of Act 2 and on to Act 3, where things are going to get a little bit more messy, which I'm very excited for. Finally, the scenario we are using for this series on Girls Run These Worlds is Chariot of the Gods, the first cinematic scenario written by Andrew E.C. Gasker in the 26th Draconis arc, and it's this scenario that comes in the Alias starter set. Now, I would ask those folks who have maybe played this game before or even run this game before, if you're in the comments, just think before you post. Don't be that person that spoils something, because, well, I can't guarantee your safety from our Xenomorph mods, because that would be a shame if you had to die before the story end. Now, I'm going to ask the cast to introduce them in a clockwise fashion. I will note that obviously we are missing our pilot tonight. The wonderful Annika is busy doing important life stuff. They may turn up later on, but obviously we hope, wherever you are, Annika, you're being a badass bitch and you're still flying those incredible. So currently, Leah Davis, Annika's character, is going to be doing what I like to call background animations. So is currently safe, and I will just introduce them into the scene, but they won't be rolling for anything, because that's not fair. I don't want to play Davis, because I just can't. I can't compete with Annika's wonderful style. But we will still go around in clockwise order. So I'm going to pass straight over to Raina, please.
Hi, I'm Raina. My pronouns are she, they. I am playing Ava, the Cronus's synthetic, and excited to dive into that character and see what happens with my new rules.
Exactly. And I forgot. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, Raina. I forgot. I know you were like, oh no, Fiona's forgotten an important thing, but I got stumbled by the fact that the person that goes first isn't here. We do have a small talk icebreaker for each episode, and so this episode's icebreaker, which Raina is very lovely to have you go first, is if you were to play any part in a sci-fi franchise, what would that role be? What would the franchise be, and why? And this is limited to anything: books, TV, film, etc. So take it away, Raina.
It's a great question, because there's so many options and there's so many wonderful science fiction worlds that I've felt connected to and been inspired by over the years. But honestly, what came to mind first, for me at least, and we're mostly improvisers here, right? First thought, best thought. We honor the impulse. Was a Force sensitive in Star Wars. I love Star Wars, and I have opinions about the Jedi Order as a concept. But I would be more interested in being someone who is connected to the Force, who is kind of like exploring the different ways in which that affects you and your personality and your connection to the universe. And that's what I would like to be.
I love that. What a great answer. Thank you, Raina.
It me next. I'm out of whack as well. Annika, how dare you throw us out so completely? Hi friends, it me, JC Darcy. I also use she, they pronouns. I'm playing Kyla Ray. No, Kyla Rye.
Yeah.
Who
Star
uses
Wars.
literally that's what I was. I was like, I'm force sensitive now. This xenomorph's got no fucking chance. Let's go. She uses she, her pronouns. She's getting scared. She's gonna have a time tonight, I think. But less of making Fiona happy. Yeah, first thought, best thought for me as well. This was a real easy one. My absolute favorite sci-fi franchise of all time is Battlestar Galactica. So if I could play anybody who gets close to Starbuck in that franchise, I would be very happy. Because we all have our big gay awakenings, okay? And there's no one like Starbuck. Oh my god.
There is no one like Starbuck. Agreed. Good choice, Darcy.
Thank you very much. Does that keep me safe for another day?
We'll see.
Hi, I'm Maddie. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm playing Cham, the cargo handler for the former Montero, current Cronus. Pronouns also she, her. And I would love to play. I think this was very much bisexual. Do I want to be her or do I want to be with her kind of situation? Tali Zora from Mass Effect.
Oh, heck yeah.
I just love the cool like aesthetic of her suit and the sort of the tension with the Geth and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, just like what's under that suit, eh? What's under there? If I played her, then I'd know.
Thank you so much, Maddie. Great answer.
And hi, my name is Ida. My pronouns are she and her, and I will be playing Miller, whose pronouns are also she and her. She is the captain of the best ship, no longer their ship, the Montero. She has a bit of an agenda. She's feeling a little monstrous because of what happened. And as to the icebreaker question, I immediately thought the Expanse. The Expanse universe. I love the Expanse universe because there's so many bomb ass amazing strong women characters, and it's like what I want to be like a Bobby Draper kind of character, like post leaving the MCRN. Do you want to like ride and die with Kamina Drummer? I just love the like intelligent debate and the way the world just works without like these unnecessary like dramatic things that could have been solved by talking to others. No, it's so much deeper. It's so much more fleshed out, and there's this idiot budget Jon Snow that presses the button and everything goes boom, and I love it.
Oh, very good choice. Very good choice. Thank you so much, Ada. And for me, well, obviously I've had all week to think of this, and have I thought of an answer? No. But I will say my first love is always, is it first thought, best thought, is Doctor Who. I want to be Jodie Whittaker. That's it. I just want to be Jodie Whittaker. That's it. Yeah. I think I also have Jodie Whittaker sort of like, hello, oh, we're about to die. That's the sort of attitude I go into these things. So yes, that's that. Well, thank you so much. What a fine crew. What great answers as well. But before we dive back into my recap, I'm going to quickly talk, as I always do, about the main game mechanic that you've got to look out for in this session of Alien. So, when a character wants to do something where there's a tiny little bit of risk, and we've had a little bit of risk so far, I will ask them to describe what they're doing and then ask them to do a roll which combines one of their attributes and a related skill. This, when they combine the levels, will equal a dice pool of d6s, which we will call base dice, and in most situations they'll roll it, and they only need a 1/6 as a success in order to pass a task. Very simple, very straightforward, not a problem. However, life on the cutting edge of space is pretty brutal, and this is where the stress mechanic comes in. When I ask players to make skill rolls, they must also add a number of d6, which is equal to their current stress level. So if they have a current stress level of, say, 2, they just add another 2d6 to it. And if they roll a 1 on one or more of their stress dice, well, bad things happen. I say, like, I always give the example of 2 stress as if that's like the normal level to have. I think we've gone up to 10 on quite a few of our rolls, which has been quite fun. So naturally, though, the more stressed the character is, the more chance they have of succeeding at difficult tasks. They're under pressure more, and the more chance they're going to hit something because they're ready to go. But that it means there's also more chance of them failing with very, very bad consequences. Now, it has happened, but I will remind the players again, you can always push your rolls. So you grab any dice that doesn't show a success and re-roll them. But this is not without risk, however, because pushing a roll means you increase your character's stress level, and you must include that new stress die in the pushed roll. You can only push skilled rolls once, unless you have a talent that says otherwise, and you can push any skill roll except any roll that already contains a 1 on the stress dice or on a death roll. The final bit I just want to mention is one of the more unique parts about Alien, the personal agendas. So most cinematic scenarios are split into 3 acts, just like this one is. And for each act, our characters have a secret agenda that motivates their choices. I've said to the players that they aren't bound to carry out these agendas, but should they follow them, at the end of each act, I will reward them with a story point, which they can then spend for 1 automatic success on a die roll. Now, finally, I obviously have cleared this with the cast in our session 0, but so that the audience is aware. There is a traitor amongst us. One of the characters isn't who they say they are. The traitor is a secret android working towards a completely different agenda and goal, mimicking the person that they have replaced in our story. I'll give you a big hint. It's not Ava, who's the obvious android, who's working to an agenda in this story. Sorry, guys. Well, I just nipped that one in the bud. But the traitor and I are the only ones who know who they are. And should they get revealed, their game mechanics will change. But we'll get to that if and when we come to it. So, my wonderful crew of the Kronos. Shall we get going with episode 6?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So previously on Alien Chariot of the Gods, the crew of the CSS Montero were brought out of hypersleep after intercepting a garbled distress signal from the Kronos, a spacecraft that had been missing for 3/4 of a century. Since boarding the Kronos as part of a company-mandated salvage mission, the crew has quite a time of it, discovering grisly remains and weird specimens in the Medilab, witnessing one of the surviving crew members, Cooper, being ripped apart from the inside out by a terrifying lifeform, and then, of course, finally, the destruction of their own ship, the Montero, via a remote execution of Special Order 966, which caused her reactor to overload. Now, after numerous tense exchanges between the Montero and the Kronos' crews, it's been revealed that the Kronos had originally been assigned to a scientific archaeological mission, in quotation marks, on a planet called LV-1113 to explore some ancient ruins. The science team had collected and brought back some important artifacts, in quotation marks, which were also being studied in the Medilab and in the science labs. Inadvertently, it seems that some of the crew had been infected with some airborne dust motes, which had been produced from these extracted mold-like egg sacs, which are now spreading throughout the ship. Anyone who was infected had sort of given birth to these strange, aggressive life forms, which had started to hunt down and kill off the other members of the crew. This had caused chaos to break out, and in an effort to get away, the Kronos left planetside, stranding the majority of the crew and ejecting its science module at the back. Amongst the confusion, the captain and the ship's android Ava were the only ones left in charge, piloting the ship to safety, whilst the other crew members were forced back into hypersleep for their own protection and sealed off from the rest of the ship. But not before the doctors on the science team came up with their own cure which would neutralize the growth that was inside the infected individuals. They inoculated everyone present in the cryochambers before entering hypersleep. Whilst our own crew was desperately trying to prevent the Monteros from self-destructing, our own company agent Wilson was giving a nice little juicy offer by a secret intercom call from the Kronos' own company agent, Clayton. Help us get the stash of xenomorphic material and get Flynn to her EVA, and Wilson would be guaranteed a place in the pod. Unfortunately, as they attempted to complete this task in secret, Wilson was ambushed by Dexy's storage by a large creature with pale skin, large claws, and larger teeth. With one swish of an incredibly sharp tail, Wilson's death came quickly and painfully. When the crew finally discovered the scene of the murder, All that was left was a long, bloody red trail to one of the air vents, where a body might have been dragged. In the meantime, Cham's suit had run out of oxygen. As human instinct took over, she took off her own helmet in order to breathe. Aware of the dangers the Kronos crew had spoken about these motes being airborne, Davis had urged Cham to take on one of the inoculations, which Cham did. So far, Cham has not shown any symptoms or reactions to either the possibly infected air of the Kronos or the inoculation. The crew made its way down to the bridge to figure out their next move, and it was at this point that Ava finally made her appearance. Badly damaged, she explained that she was left in caretaking mode in order to ensure the safety of the Kronos' crew. Whilst Ryan and Cham set about fixing the piloting station on the bridge, as well as fixing Ava, Miller and Davis went back to the quarantine Kronos crew to play bad cop, badass cop. Realizing that they would need a high-level key, stop laughing, a high-level key card to access the damaged Mother mainframe, and with Wilson's card and the emergency key card Ava had used, both now missing, our buddy cops insisted on speaking to Clayton, who would have a much higher Wayland-Yutani clearance. However, it would appear that Clayton had other plans of her own, and had, in the confusion, made her escape from quarantine. The hunt for Clayton is now on, with Captain Miller and Davis heading towards the executive suite, believing that that is her next port of call. And finally, it would be remiss of me not to mention our cliffhanger from last time, which showed Cham, once again, picking up an alert on the sensors, indicating the location of a nearby ship, which, according to the rest of the system, didn't appear to exist, all while absent-mindedly scratching her wrist. So, let us come back to the scene now. If it's okay, I'd like to start with Ava. Ava, you are now fully repaired, you're fully functional, and you are starting to retain certain memories and certain information. So I would like you, it'd be good if I actually had a character sheet out so I can actually look at what the stats are. Huh? I was too busy in playing mode. So I would like you to roll me a, let's go for a wits comm check, please. Now, the interesting thing, which I don't know if the players know, but androids, they don't suffer stress, so they don't have any stress levels. And along with that, they are not allowed to push any rolls. So there you go. So let me know what you get.
Can't gain stress, then I can't do a mechanic that lets you possibly gain stress, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I have 2 successes on my wits and comtech.
Fantastic. So yes, you're slowly, your sort of memories are starting to reconnect, and your sort of information about what happened. And whereas before it was almost like you were sort of, you know, you would be missing parts of time, because obviously you have a photogenic memory. Not photogenic, but I know what I meant. Photographic memory. And you remember specifically before the captain sealed off where she was from you to protect you, and giving you the instruction to take care of the rest of the crew and defeat these creatures as much as possible, that the captain herself had an incinerator. And you remember that whilst guns and gunfire did hurt the creatures that you fought, fire they seem to be afeared of. You think fire would be useful.
Good to know.
Yeah. So, so you are sort of slowly being repaired up. And at this point, folks, certainly those who are in the bridge, so I believe that's Cham, Rai, you are taking your time with this. I was reading the rules again. I was being a bit cruel with the stress levels. It's pretty much every turn that you are in safety does it dip down. And I would say you're spending about an hour or so. So I'm going to allow you to dip down your stress levels to down by 3 levels.
3! Oh my god, the generosity.
Yes.
Nice.
Well, somebody went to play bad cop, badass cop. I don't know what to tell you.
Very relaxing, very peaceful.
Indeed. I will just move the map because I realise let me move the map so it's on the right one. I'll do it in a second. I can't be bothered. So what would the bridge crew like to do? Like, you've fixed the piloting station. I will say you are aware that currently the ship itself has no power to its engines, and also its communicator array. So the basically the dish, the signal system that you'd use to contact other ships is also broken. And should you wish to contact any other ships, you would need to fix that. So what is the plan, those in the bridge?
Have we all been made aware that there is an additional ship?
I was just going to ask.
I'll give that up to Cham.
Yeah, I think I can't remember if I mentioned it at the end of the last session, but Jam definitely would call it out and say, "Oh, yep, either both the sensors on this ship and the Montero are broken, or there's definitely another ship out there somewhere that we can't see."
Well, that vindicates me slightly. I knew it was the sensors. I knew it wasn't me.
There certainly has been extant damage to the Cronus' systems, but it's unlikely that both of our sensor arrays would be malfunctioning in the exact same way.
Yeah. If there's another ship out there, that could be our ticket out of this hellhole.
Would you like me to attempt to repair the comm array so that we can try to hail them?
Is that something you're programmed to do?
I am a technician.
Excellent.
And presumably, if it needs a spacewalk, that would be easier for synthetic to do.
I am less prone to the effects of vacuum.
Uniquely equipped, one might say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's check in with the captain and make sure that's all right. Miller, you around?
Yeah, you hear like very hushed whispers. Yes, what's going on?
Sorry, am I interrupting?
Don't mind me. I'm just keeping my voice down. What's going on?
This robot's all fixed up. Piloting column is all fixed up. Sensors are doing the same thing on this ship as they were on ours, and we have every reason to believe that there is another ship out there. I'm going to assume that you think the way I think, that it'd be real good to get in contact with that ship.
It would be real good to get in contact with this ship, but...
See, we're on the same wavelength.
Be a bit defensive. I mean, it's kind of hard to trust people around here, and we're on quite a lot of valuable, expensive things. If it's not a corporate ship, then contact them, but be wary. Don't exactly show them the welcome mat just yet.
Well, there's a step in between now and then. We need to fix the comm array. The robot says she can do it. If it's all right by you, we'll send her out on a spacewalk, and me and Sham will try and fix the engines.
All right, that sounds good. I need to add one more thing to your checklist. I believe my schematic showed that there are air vent entries into the area you are in now.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Look up.
Yep. Conveniently, they're right above you. Yes.
Do I look up into the face of a monster?
No. That would be cruel. After I just reduced your stress level.
That would be really cruel.
I know we saw the little shit go in there, and the big shit that we haven't seen yet, the space tiger. But there might be one more monster in the vents.
You are?
Corpo.
Ah, the worst kind. Aha, right. Gotcha.
Kill all monsters on sight?
Happily.
All monsters.
Shoot to kill?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Keep safe.
You too.
All right, and yes, just to confirm as well, yes, you are right. Synthetics, they, according to the book, don't need air, food, water, or sleep. They are immune to the vacuum of space, cold, and disease. There you go. So yes, as Ava, I was going to call you your old name then, Wilson. I was like, no, that's not. Nope. Wilson's no longer here.
The
Yes,
ghost
Ava.
of Wilson.
Ooh. So yes, Ava, as Ava said, yes. So it would require so that both fixable things, so the engines and the comm array, do require spacewalks. The comm array itself is an easy spacewalk. You would have both spacewalks would begin at deck D because that is the easiest way out onto the outside of the ship. Unfortunately, now because you have very conveniently got rid of the other airlock. So we have the comm array. You would require a spacewalk, about 4 turns of work, so that's about 40 minutes, and a comm check roll, and this would allow you to speak to the other ships. Meanwhile, the other sort of bigger issue is the engines themselves. So these would require external repairs, meaning a spacewalk to all 4 of the engines from deck D as well. And that would require a heavy machinery roll, but it would also require a maintenance run through in the reactor control room that's on deck C as well. So yes, so what is the plan, bridge crew?
I think overhearing the like shoot to kill, yes, ma'am. I think there's kind of a moment after, and I think Ava kind of like looks down at the ground and then looks back up. I would be Ms. Rai, I would be remiss to inform you if you do intend on hunting these things. Firearms are useful for conventional targets. These things are unconventional targets. I believe that creative application of fire would suit you better than small arms.
Ah, well, lucky for me. And I just like unhook what I imagine is like a long lance-like thing with just a tiny flicker of flame at the end of the incinerator. I'm well prepared.
That's very
Sam, you
convenient.
and I are probably the safest people on this ship.
The captain had an additional incinerator unit with her at the time of her demise. I'm not sure where it is now.
Where did she meet her demise?
I don't remember. We got separated in the chaos.
Gotcha. I'll just very quickly relay that to Miller just to keep her eye out and the information that they may be susceptible to that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Fire. Well, shit, thanks for the heads up.
Anything?
I'm less capable of repairing the engines, if that is something that you want to attempt. My specialty is in maintaining the computer systems.
I'm happy to give it a go. Yeah, I haven't spent a lifetime shoving heavy things around for nothing.
Yes. So that sounds good. I would say though, Cham, you currently aren't wearing a suit. Actually, that's a good point. Everyone who is still wearing their suit, could everyone who and does need to breathe, could they do for me an air supply check?
Every time you remember, I get so upset.
Lean back here.
Part of my like, please say she forgets. Please say she forgets. Please say she forgets. Like, fuck.
One failure. I'm down to 2.
Oh.
You do have my sympathies.
How dare you?
No failures. This
no
is a
failures.
miracle. It's all gonna go at once. It's all gonna go at once, and
I hate that I am this person, but I am consistently this person.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when I put this suit on?
Mm-hmm.
We said it was actually a little bit damaged.
Yes.
Did that just impact my initial starting air supply, or did we say it was going to impact my rolls?
No, I can't remember exactly what I said, so I'm just going to keep it as normal just for ease.
You can be generous, you see?
I can. I am a
she's
merciful.
a generous god.
I am a merciful alien mother. Yes. Yes. What else was I going to say? Yes. Davis is obviously badassing it. no air needed. Like, I'm fine. That sort of thing. Going for it. But
and just to recall, she did have some vaccines, inoculations on her.
She did. She has vaccines on. Davis has vaccines on her. Yes.
Okay, just in case.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to remember. But yes, Cham, if you want to go outside, you will need a new suit. And you know that there are suits in the EBA, the Vestibule number 2, which is right next to it. But that was, if you remember, where Rai almost got into trouble herself because of the mold there. But you think you're obviously more than welcome to go out, but you yourself would need a new suit.
Cool. Yeah, I think Cham would say to Rai, I'd need a suit if we were to go out for the spacewalk. We could grab one from the vestibule outside.
Yeah, you're not having this one, so you're gonna have to find another one.
Yeah, I'm just worried about exposing myself to more of the mold. So if someone with a suit could go and fish one out for me, that would be really great, please. But also, I mean, if I'm already exposed, I'm already exposed. I could just frickin' grab one.
Whatever you want. I'll go and get it if you want. I do wonder if... Do you think we should get rid of the mold? Do you think that would... Look, between you and me, we're all going to end up having to take our helmets off in here. I'm down to 2. I'm not going to last much longer.
Yeah.
I just wonder if the air filtration will... If we get rid of the mold, it'll clear out what's already here.
Maybe. Do you think fire will work on that?
If it works on the... Do we know there's a... I don't know. Yeah, I guess. Look, I'm ready and willing to give it a go. Do you know what I mean? I'll try anything for science.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Important scientific experiment.
Mm.
Yeah. No, that sounds good.
A controlled burn of the mold would most likely reduce the number of airborne pathogens in the air filtration system.
I am a scientist. Hidden talents. All right. All right. I'll go. Do you want to come with me? Let's stick together.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Not leaving folks alone.
All right. I'll make my way to that vestibule.
All right. So yes, you make your way to the vestibule, and again, sort of looking in, because the door I'm going to assume from last time is still ajar. Yeah, you see this mold, sort of as I described it, this sort of blue veiny cheese type thing going across the back thing, and you can see that there are 2 EBA suits still there that are untouched by the mold, but it's the one there's the 2 that are closest to the mold. If you see. Yeah, I think, and it is. You can see here, even with the light from your headlamp. Sorry, it is glistening. This mold, it seems active.
Yeah. I'll fish out the suit first and pass it back to Cham.
Sure.
Sweet, thank you.
Yep. So you go in, as you sort of go in to take, you can see these sort of little sacks. Glisten like almost like grapes in like vacuum sealed like gloopy pockets, mermaids' purses. There you go. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, that's the bird I'm thinking of. They start to glisten and sort of like you see little folds start to open as you get it. But you grab the suit, you pass it back to Cham.
Does that top you all the way up? Is that full air supply?
It'll take you some time to get into it, Cham, and I'll look up the air supply thing. But yeah, it's in a completely undamaged suit. I think it's the same one that Darcy's Rai is wearing, which I think is like maximum supply 6.
Yeah, I'm debating swapping out into the second one, but we'll see about that. But yeah, if I can try and do a close range controlled short bursts of flame to clear this mold, I would like to try that.
Absolutely. So, this I will say your incinerator unit is range medium, so you don't have to be close. You know, especially you will be aware from dealing with the tritium and all that sort of thing that these sort of fire things you don't have to be super close. I guess if you had the cutting torch, that could also be used as well. But you can have a little bit more of a range in it, so you maybe step back a little bit. So you're wearing your helmet, but you don't want your eyebrows being singed off by this thing, do you? And yeah, so make for me it's range combat technically. So that's an agility and range combat check with your stress, if you have any.
Of course. I have a little bit, just a
Yeah.
little. Where is this? I haven't used this one yet. Agility, range combat. That's not a great stat for me.
Mhm.
But let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
These dice. God damn, it's such a good mechanic, but god damn it. One success, one
success.
panic.
Fantastic. One on the panic.
Yeah.
Roll that panic check for me, please. That's a d6 plus your stress level.
4 plus 5 is 9.
9.
9.
Oh. What items do you have?
Ah,
Oh, no.
I can't lose the incinerator because I'm actively
No.
using it.
Yeah.
Hold everything you have.
Yeah, my
I
pockets, my
have very
pockets.
little. This is the joy of not being Davis. I don't have that much. I've got the incinerator, I've got the shotgun, and I've got the suit. And I'm gonna offer this up on a platter. I do have my signature item on me.
I think we'll deal with your signature item. I think that's the thing that's going to
Yeah.
go. But fantastic. But yes, you do hit. And in the chaos, I mean, so it does hit the burn. And now this is interesting because your weapon, it has a, like it says, so it does 2 damage to it. Fine, no bonus to it. But there's also something called fire intensity. So I would like you to roll 9 dice. And tell me how many successes you get. So essentially, this fire, it sort of spreads out. You know, if you catch someone on fire, they'll start to burn us up. It's basically got a radius. I can read you what it says.
All right. Thank God this isn't my air check because I've rolled 3 so far, and I've rolled a 1, and a 2.
Ooh.
4. There's another 1, 2. Okay, there's 1 6.
Mhm.
Another 1.
Get them all out now.
Yeah,
Come on,
exactly.
that's nice.
Hopefully. Right. I think that's all of them. I think that's 1 success.
1 success.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1 success.
1
God.
success.
My brain is just filling in like this tiny little screaming sound from these plants.
No, feed me. Yes, exactly. Yeah, so essentially it just starts to burn, and you are doing it in a controlled way, so it doesn't immediately like whoosh, like it doesn't become a wall of flame or anything like that. But you can see the tendrils of this thing start to shift. If mold could scream, it might do. But you've got your helmet on. Maybe you press like play on your little cassette player. Small bit of fire, but yeah, it burns up, and so you have cleared this area of mold.
That felt really good.
Nice one.
That felt really good.
Oh, that's a relief.
But yes, I will say, Cham, easily you can get changed into your thing. Maybe you go into the armory or into a place just to put a little bit of privacy and stuff. But yeah, you are in your new suit.
I've seen your butt before, Cham. It's fine.
Which I will double check, but I do think it's air supply 6. It's either air supply 6 or armor 6 or something like that. I will double check for you. But yes,
Mine was air supply 6, armor 4.
There you go. I knew there was more armor for this one. So yeah, it's because these EVA suits are a little bit more bulky, essentially, and it's maybe takes a little bit more getting used to Cham because the other ones were a bit more flexible in the maybe a bit more. I was going to say elasticine. No, a bit more
spacious.
Yeah, no, it's a type of material, but it's gone from my head. It doesn't matter. It's basically it's cotton. There's no stretch. How's that? That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
And it did take up 2 of my item slots. My gear.
Yes, it is a bulky item. Cool. All right.
So speaking of items, Fiona.
Right. The light burns up in your helmet reflected, and you're like, yes. And you see, as you sort of turn to go, your foot touches something, and you look down, and it's, I believe your signature item's a photo. Is that correct? Yeah. You see the photo on the floor catching fire and burning.
Fuck! I start to like immediately smash it with my foot, trying to put it out.
Unfortunately, it just burns away, and the little bits fly up into the air.
Fuck.
No
What was that?
It was the only photo I had of Connor.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
Fuck.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even know if he's still alive. And that was the last bit of him I had to hold on to. Fuck this place.
Yeah. I mean, in normal circumstance, I would say something like, he's always in your heart, he's always in your memories. But at this point, I don't think I can really summon up the optimism for that.
Yeah. Plus, you know I'd punch you.
Yeah. It's happened before, it happened again. Yeah. Oh God, does someone like prank someone with this suit? It just feels so itchy. Jesus, did someone leave like itching powder in it? Or is it like the
Not me.
material?
No, this one's fine.
Weird. Maybe
It has been dormant for 75 years. It's possible there have been buildups of various materials, and the joints, the hydraulics may need some time to readjust.
Yeah, fair enough.
Thanks,
Maybe I'm
robot.
mildly allergic to something from 75 years ago.
Just to check, Rye, are you changing into a new EVA suit?
Yeah, I think I will.
Or
I'm going to try and speedrun it the same way I did getting into this one.
you don't have to make a check because you got rid of all the egg sacs in this room.
Beautiful.
So you take a moment, you go, and you pull everything off, and maybe go, and then you see maybe the photo or something, and you go, and you breathe. But yes,
I
but
love
you
that
put
feeling.
on, you feel secure in the new suit. You get used to it quite quickly, but you panic a little bit. But I'm not going to make you roll because you have dealt with those excerpts quite beautifully.
Thank you very much.
But yes, so your air supply is now up to 6.
Yeah,
again.
great.
So we will leave the bridge team to slowly make their way down to deck D, and we'll return to Captain Miller. Now, I appreciate Captain Miller. Obviously, your badass cop companion isn't with us tonight, so they're just Davis is just going to follow what you say, essentially. So I'm going to leave it up to you a little bit, but I'm happy to help you with your roles, essentially, because it's no fun being yourself in a scene by yourself. So tell me, where is Captain Miller and Davis going?
Last discussed with Davis, we're going to try to hunt down Clayton. And Miller mentioned that they passed the corporate suite that the dearly departed Wilson had hung out with. She hadn't canvassed it. Miller hadn't canvassed it herself, but maybe if it was interesting enough to hold Wilson's attention that long, there might be something that Clayton goes there for.
Absolutely. So so you sort of make your way to the corporate suite. I'll say for ease that the bridge team have already left by this point, so you don't need to necessarily. But you've had that conversation, and as you get into the corporate suite, whatever, I'm sure Wilson did describe to you that it was a bit of a mess, but this when you go in, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's like the bed itself is bloodied, but it's almost been overturned. You see various desks being pulled out of stuff. There's broken glass everywhere from a wet bar. You see a wall safe that is open, but nothing left inside. And as you sort of see what would be a walk-in closet, again, the door slightly ajar, you look in past sort of the different various Weyland-Yutani coats and dressing gowns and jumpsuits. You see an EEV that is there, that is primed. And as you sort of carefully go and possibly with a gun to look close, you see that it is locked. It needs a numeric code to go in, but it looks like it's primed to leave.
There's nothing I can do to override it or stall it.
Oh, good question. Why don't you make for me a wits com check? It's going to be hard. It's going to be a hard check, so you will need to remove 2 base dice from your pool.
Then that means I only rolled my stress. It's if this is similar to the piloting controls, maybe Davis has some insight on how these godforsaken things work.
Davis, you can see, is stomping round the corporate suite. It's sort of going, what a waste of good alcohol. It's just sort of doing that, and is unfortunately unhelpful at this
Okay.
stage, and won't be able to. Basically, I will not be rolling for Davis,
So,
unfortunately.
all right. I basically am only rolling my stress because he said remove
Yeah.
2. So, okay.
I did.
Oh my goodness. The generosity. Okay. 1 success.
Hey, fantastic. So you unfortunately aren't able to get into the thing, but you can work out at least partially the code. And actually what happens is that you bring up a schematic of inside the EEV. Whereas before, again, I know Wilson didn't necessarily share with you that they had found the EEV,
Nope.
but you get that there are 3 escape pods in here, but the EEV itself is not equipped for FTL, so faster than light speed, so it would just be set adrift. So it is a way out, but obviously very limited in its capacities. It would basically just be like a tug on a big rolling ocean, essentially. But doesn't seem to be anything, and there's no way to get in it just yet.
Okay, and we just entered the corporate suite. The door was ajar, or we
Yes.
managed to get through it.
Yeah, you've overturned it. It's already been overturned. If somebody had been in here and got stuff and has left.
God damn it. All right. She's not here. Where else could she have been? Probably picking up the valuables. The thing that maybe Wilson died for. Fuck, could she have gone down that way? Earlier we said that we were able to see life signs on Mother. Where is Clayton?
Good question.
Or rather, I know that my Montera crew is like towards the north part of the deck. I know that the other Kronos crew. So there should be one unaccounted for blip.
Correct. And it's maybe easier now as you realize that Clayton has put on an EVA suit, whereas before the other crew members hadn't. So it might be easier to track. So you go in and you look. Clayton doesn't seem to be on the ship. Rather, she seems to be, or her life sign seems to be, about 25 meters outside of the ship.
25 meters outside of the ship. Is there a window? Is there a port window?
There's not in the corporate suite, no. There will be viewports in the bridge.
Shit. Miller gets this sinking feeling that she needs to look out a window ASAP if I follow where the blip outside the ship is.
You use your mini map desperately, yeah. So you head towards I was scrolling on a video there rather than my actual map. That's how keen I was. So you maybe race towards with Davis in tow to the bridge itself. You sort of you now can operate the piloting station. So you click open the blast shutters and it as they slowly go up, and you look around and it's to the far west is where the signal is coming from, and you're looking. Make for me it's a wits observation check, I believe it is. See if you can spot them.
No successes there. Stress die. 2 successes on the stress die.
Nice. You can see. You can't see her, The signal itself is not moving. But what you can see, and looking at the schematics, maybe you bring it up on the command station. Again, very limited what you have because you don't have the keycard access to Mother. You suspect that's where the comm array dish systems is located on the external of the Kronos's. It's on the port side.
Fuck. Cham, Rai? Which of you was going up to fix the communications array?
You're muted, Cham.
Sorry, there we go. Yep.
New suit, new me.
Yeah, new suit.
Let's
Trying to find the right buttons.
Who dis?
New suit is. I think Ava was going to go for the comm array on the spacewalk, and Ryan and I were going to go for the engines.
Clayton left the safe area from the other Kronos crew. She's outside the ship. She's like literally outside the hull of the ship.
Okay.
Good.
She had a fucking She has a fucking EEV ready to go.
What? Can
Locked, I assume only for her.
Okay. Jeez. So what would you like us to do?
Shit. So if Ava is up there and encounters Clayton, does Ava assist Clayton?
Is Ava still with us?
I'm going to say you'd already set off. So I would say, unless again, depending on how you feel about it, do you give Ava access to your party link line? I think that would be the more important thing.
Not in this instance.
Like, I don't have a hand communicator or anything. Right? So you could reasonably be having a communication, like a conversation between each other and within your helmets.
Yeah.
I think that would be totally reasonable.
That's what I am assuming. And so unless you have a way to contact Ava, I would say Ava is not part of this discussion.
Okay. That's fair.
Maybe I'm like walking ahead of you, like I'm leading you, quote unquote.
Perfect. Perfect.
That's the flavor, so that I can't see that you're talking, or you can like talk under your breath.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe you've like just gone down towards deck D and we're still on deck C, kind of thing, or something like that.
Perfect.
Ava's just ahead, but we haven't set off yet.
I think the answer to the question is yes, though. She stated her purpose was to protect the crew, right? Crew of the Kronos.
Damn it. Clayton is going to get us all killed. Clayton doesn't give a fuck about us. No one at Weyland Yutani does. Fuck.
Maybe she's trying to fix it. Maybe she's accidentally doing us a favor. Can we keep an eye on her, wait for her to do what she's doing, and then when she gets back in, or tries to come back in, where would she have left from? Is there an airlock near there? Or
She
would
snuck
come in and
out.
go by deck D?
We have no reason to trust her. She already disobeyed the directions we gave her. She's imperiling all our lives by sneaking around. She has her
I'm
own
on
goddamn
board.
agenda.
I agree.
If you're going to talk to her and hear her out,
No.
if you're going to talk to her and hear her out, have your weapons at the ready, is what I'm saying.
I've had a test of this flamethrower and it's pretty good, so I'm ready to go with round 2. I'm just saying, if I know where she's coming in, I could be waiting in the door. Whatever tether she's got, snip.
All right.
No more corpo problem.
If we have no more corpo problem, then I'm going to involve the rest of the Kronos crew with us. We need more hands on deck.
Can we trust them? After we kill their captain, the corpo?
Who is willing to imperil the rest of them?
They may not see it that way. Maybe they don't have to know that we killed her. Oh no, she went for a spacewalk. Space is dangerous. Oh, what a shame.
There's monsters all around. Remember what I said to do to monsters.
I know
Miller
exactly
out.
what you said.
And I remember that previously Miller had conversed with Davis and Davis made a point, and Miller's the kind of captain who listens to her team, her crew, that
Mhm.
said if Clayton is not here, we go get the weenies, were Davis's words.
Oh yes, yes. If anything, at this point, Davis would reiterate that point exactly word for word as what she said last week. But I will not. We'll insert the footage here now. Done. Right.
All right. It's weenies time then. Oh, God damn it.
Oh.
Oh, I'm gonna roll a die because I'm tempted to do something, but I don't know if it's
Yeah,
play
please.
or Ida. If
Please,
it's
please.
odds, I do
Mhm.
the
Follow
thing.
your
If it's
heart.
even, I don't do the thing.
First fought, best fought.
If it's even, I don't do the thing.
Ooh. All right.
I'm gonna
So,
punch the wall where the
mm,
console is that
Mm.
has the EEV primed.
yeah. Mhm.
Like really angrily punch it.
Yeah.
And I start making my way down to the weenies, and am I able to tap into, like, are there communication speakers into parts of the ship over the room?
Yeah, so there's intercoms that you
Yep.
can select. So you could do it like a ship-wide broadcast, or you can go into certain rooms just as Clayton did for Wilson. So
Then,
yeah, there's a intercom here by junction B1.
all right. Then I am going to contact the weenies in cryo.
Okay.
Make sure the volume isn't like too high,
Yep.
and basically explain that it seems like Clayton abandoned ship and was making provisions to do so as well. She can't be trusted to have your interests at heart. And I've come to realize that I need your help here because I want to survive. I want us to survive. I want our lives and our futures to matter, not the ledger books.
The intercom flickers into life into a vid call, and you see Reed, the Marine that was assigned to this crew, has answered it, and sort of nods curtly and is like, "Whatever you need, Captain. Tell us what we need to do."
All right. Welcome to the crew. I'll be on my way to. Can I unlock the door from where I am?
I would say no. I would say you would have locked it right next to the door. That would be like the override, manual override, I'd say. Because otherwise you could open any doors anywhere and they might have already come out. You see what I mean?
All right. Davis and I are going to come over, get you guys out of there.
Mhm.
I want your help fixing up the mother computer on the ship so we can do deck by deck, section by section lockdown. So these goddamn killing monster things can't get to us.
Understood. John's Reed looks off and goes, well, he's taken it quite badly. He feels like he's let you. I'm telling her, he feels like he's let you down. He says he's sorry. Yeah, just stop crying, man. Just please, God's sake. We'll be here to help. But he does say that he doesn't have an access key to Mother. That was what the captain had, and unless the android had the emergency spare one, then the only other people would have had it would have been any Weyland Yutani personnel. So Clayton would have had override as well. But we'll be with you, Captain, and we'll room by room, deck by deck, whatever it takes.
If Miller cranes her head around the video feed, do I see Flynn?
Flynn, you don't see. Reed has is one of those people who's clearly made the use of the space when they're doing the video call. You remember that they were quite short, or she was quite short. So it's clearly like very stoic and very much grounded, and is like commanding the center of the call. But there is like an equal understanding there. But you don't see Flynn and you don't see Johns.
Is Finn all right?
The scientist, yes, I think he was a bit. Can I be frank with you, Captain?
Go ahead.
I think he is dealing with a lot in terms of. It was his inoculation. He was the sort of the main lead on it, and Cooper helped, and so naturally he is feeling a bit overwhelmed, perhaps, with what has happened to our head scientist. I don't wish to speak out of turn, Captain, or anything like that, but I can fully say that what happened on the planet, what we saw, it was happening here. And without those inoculations, those vaccines, he promised us that they were 100% safe. And I have to put my trust in that. That's the only thing that grounds me right now. So I think he is still dealing with the fact that even his partner in developing these things didn't take them. It's quite a shock to us all.
And you all took it. You feel fine.
I mean, no more than just the nausea we had coming out of hypersleep.
All right. I appreciate your candidness, Reed.
Thank you.
And if there's any more of those inoculations, I will talk to my crew and recommend that we inoculate ourselves. One of my crew inadvertently had to get inoculated, and I think she's doing fine.
Understood.
All right. I appreciate your candidness, truly.
And are you, Captain?
Let's fucking survive this and get fucking better jobs after this.
I do have shore leave to take. I'll see you in a few minutes, Captain. Over and out. And intercom goes off.
And as I turn around, just checking in, Cham and Rai. Cham, you are feeling all right since that shot you took very heartily.
I mean, this suit is a bit uncomfortable, but otherwise, I think I'm okay.
No
Yeah.
headaches.
I mean, I get a pain behind one of my eyes when I'm stressed, so I've got a bit of that at the moment, but
Fair enough.
otherwise I'm okay.
All right. There's anything out of the ordinary, beyond the symptoms of having your life threatened in a goddamn floating space coffin, you let us know. We'll run it by the medic. But I think if you're doing all right, we're going to find some more of those and get the rest of us inoculated as well. The other Kronos crew seem fine. And this air is not going to last forever.
Davis will mention to you that, or show, maybe do the whole here is my coat. Look at all the inoculations I have.
Of course, you have them all. All right.
I believe, I will double check, but I believe there are 5 inoculations left. I believe she picked up 6.
Looking at the inoculations that Davis has in her jacket, Miller picked up one of the vials from
Yes,
the
you did.
urn.
Oh, you
And
did.
since we're all looking at vials and syringes, I'm just going to
Mhm.
pull out one and just look at it. Are they super vastly different?
Yes, it is different. Compared to the inoculations, which are definitely in a sort of manufactured sort of I know we've said hypodermics and all that sort of thing. I tend to think of it as almost like the Star Trek sort of inoculation sort of thing, just for ease and also if people don't like needles. But yeah, so it's very different. So one is sort of in a sort of heavy duty, sort of generic, sort of plasticky type things, and that's the sort of the inoculations. But the vial you picked up, it is like almost like it's glass or a very, very fragile glass-like substance that's sort of almost been, like when you see those other glass blowers, they sort of like blow into it and then mold it and then twist it around it. Oh, it's almost like beautifully sort of ornate in its way, a very beautiful crystal clear sort of glass-like substance. And in it is two liquids. One is a clear liquid, and then in between the liquid, it's almost like a different density. It's this sort of horrible black goo, which is right, as you pick it up, is moving because you've moved it, and then it slowly settles down. It feels cold in your hands, but as your sort of fingerprints, as you sort of move it with your hand a little bit, your fingerprints are leaving sort of like, well, dust marks, the marks on it, because it's not been touched before.
I give it a good look. I glare at it and I give it a hearty fuck you. Put it back in my pocket, and I go to release the weenies.
Excellent. As you go and release weenies, let's head to deck D. So we are. So you're in the vehicle bay just now, and I would say, because I can't remember, it's been 6 sessions, guys. The airlocks are on this level. As you go to them, they have now been pressurized a little bit. You're having to move past Daisy because that's still here, sort of squished in. But yes, so as I've said, the comms array is off to the left on the port side of the Kronos as you look at it. But there are engine pods. Sorry, I'll scroll out. 4 engine pods. So in order to go fix the array, that's out one of the left-hand side airlocks, but for the engine pods you can go in any order. So my question is, do you all want to go together towards the computer array, or do you want to split up?
Think stick together, probably a good shout. As long as we can.
I believe that was Captain's orders, actually. So
Yeah.
I don't know. He might want to go against Captain's orders.
I would never.
No.
It's no matter to me. I'm just as efficient on my own as with the team.
That's true, but we have physical evidence that you're not immune to attack from these things. They seem to believe the synthetic illusion, and it would be inefficient if you caught a space tiger attack at this stage. So let us just we'll help you get out there.
They're not tigers. They're more like crab scorpions.
Space crab scorpion doesn't really roll off the tongue the same way as space tiger, though, so that's just what we've taken to calling them. We'll get you out on your spacewalk, and then we'll tackle these engines. Is there any...
Yes.
Are there any handheld communicators potentially in storage somewhere? Like, it strikes Rye that keeping in touch with Ava while she's out there might be prudent.
Indeed. I will say you would have probably searched for this on your way down, because in Deck D, obviously everything got sucked off into the vacuum of space. But on the Deck C, you went through storage, and there was like some cutting tools and stuff. I don't believe there is like an official stat block for a communicator, but I would make sense that you would find something like maybe like a little wrist watch or like a pendant or something that Ava can have as a sort of two-way radio. I will give you that, because that's no fun if you can't be in contact.
Yeah, we can't hear the betrayal happen in real time. Sure.
It's a headset, right? It's got to be like a...
Oh, yeah, like a
basically this. Like, I'm thinking like what Bishop ended up with rigged in, like at the end of Aliens. With, like the kind of like old, thin little wire thing with the chunky microphone.
Proper call center vibes, absolutely.
Exactly, right.
It goes up and down when you're taking a drink. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So then my second second question. So you're not splitting up. Fair enough.
Mm-mm.
Are you going straight to the array first, or are you going to do the engines first?
I think it makes sense to set Ava away to go and do the comms, and then we'll do the engines, Cham?
Yeah. I think if we escort Ava to the array and then we go and do the engines after that, that makes sense.
Are you going to bring Ava to the engines with you?
I don't think so.
I think just, and then we can always come back after if Ava needs extra
Oh,
help.
I see. So you're going to leave. So you're basically going to escort Ava to the comms array, and then you're going to leave and then pick up Ava on your way back.
Yeah.
Or
Cool.
escort Ava to an airlock where she could then access, because it's outside, right?
Yeah.
Just checking I hadn't misunderstood that. Yeah.
No. You got it
an
right.
airlock.
I'm also making sure, because I don't want to be like, right, a split of everyone. You're like, no, we're actually.
No, they're all very loaded questions, Fiona. We can hear them. We can hear the cogs whirring.
You say loaded, I say
Split up,
transparent.
but with caveats. Right?
Yes, exactly. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so you all go. Excuse me. You all go into the airlock. We'll say for the purpose of this, you go into this one, the engine pod 1 for the moment. I will say, Cham and Rai, it is a little bit disconcerting. Don't take stress for this, but obviously with Ava there, just in her boiler suit and very calm demeanor, even though there's maybe a bit of superficial damage now, obviously, to the suit and with her sort of the milky white liquids indicating her sort of system fluids on her suit, that she's not wearing a helmet, and yet you're depressurizing. You can feel it a little bit, sudden change in atmosphericness, and just watching somebody who realistically, if they didn't have a helmet on, couldn't breathe and would explode. And then the door opens. Your feet are clamped down with the sort of magnetized gravity. It opens up into a starry void, and you set off to go fix the engines and the comm array. So let's do the comm array first before we head to the break. First of all, I need the 2 people who are breathing to do an air supply roll for me, please.
Okay.
Come on, dice. Come on, dice.
I'm fine.
Clear. Yes.
Yeah. Cool as a cucumber.
Very, very cool. It's a very cool sight, actually, as all 3 of you sort of pop your heads around. I will say, probably, Ava, you would probably have some magnetism in your feet or with the boots or something like that as well, so you're not just floating off into space.
Mag boots, probably, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Might have slipped them on in the airlock, actually.
Yes, exactly. That's the only thing you took out of it, maybe one of the suits, perhaps.
Like crampons.
Yeah, yes, beautiful space crampons, absolutely. So yeah, you start to go out, and it's getting used to. I mean, you both were used to it in the ship itself, but getting used to being out of the ship, leaving behind all the beeps, the whirs, the klaxons, the sounds of sort of metal ringing into a vacuum. No sound other than the sound of your own breathing in your helmets. Maybe if you felt closely, maybe hear your own heartbeats just in your own ears, And you start to make your way across to this comm array. So it seems like what I would call like a pimple. It is sort of round shape, grey, set against the thing, a little bit set out with a dish. You can see one of the I know the scientific word isn't flap, but flap has been torn off. It clearly must have been some sort of meteor storm or some sort of wave or something like that has torn it from its moorings, essentially. And so it requires a quick fix, but it would have to be a very delicate operation, and it will take time. As you get up there, anyone who wants to can make me a wits observation check to see if they see anything.
2 successes.
Fantastic.
No successes for me.
No
No
successes.
successes. Does this include stress?
It does include stress.
Yeah, that's a panic.
Oh dear.
Space is scary.
It is.
Roll that d6 plus the stress level, please.
That's an 11.
I hear that no one can hear you scream in it.
I won't even try.
An 11.
An 11.
Your head explodes.
Rocks fall. Everyone dies.
Everyone dies.
Everyone dies.
Again.
Before I say that, so Cham, you got no successes at all.
Yeah.
You could always push the roll if you'd like.
You all had such a nice, restful time
Mm.
early at the bridge. Just saying.
But you don't have to if you don't want to.
Don't have to.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it. I think I'm worried about the ready ship.
No.
Save the
that's
stress for later, right? For fixing the engines.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So unfortunately you fail your panic roll, right?
Mhm.
And according to the table, it says you seek cover, so you must use your next action to move away from danger and find a safe space if possible. You're allowed to make a retreat, yada yada yada, but that's not fun. Because unfortunately only one of you spotted it. Ava, you see, I described it as a pimple, right? But the top of the pimple sort of shifts and moves as something starts to disengage itself and move down. It looks like it's wearing an EVA suit. Its arms look incredibly long. And as its head moves up, the helmet itself, broken, as this sort of bulbous sort of cowl appears. And the face of a monstrous Clayton looks at you all. You don't hear the scream as it lunges towards you. And we're going to take a break. So,
Mhm.
I think it's fine.
It's fine.
I didn't even see it. I'm cool, calm, and collected.
Well, you're about to use your action to seek cover. Thank you so much for watching. Please go get some water. Go take your meds if you haven't already, because you are important. And please join us for round 2 of Will They Survive and Fix the Comma Ray. Thank you so much. We're going to wave awkwardly, and we'll see you in about 15 minutes.
Cool, the cucumber. Cucumbers get diced. They get chopped.
finger guns, but don't use guns at this point. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to part 2 of our alien session, which I have titled Just Breathe, because it's so good to breathe fresh air. But we're not breathing fresh air. We're in our EVA suits. We're on the outside, on the port side of the Kronos, here to fix some stuff. And unfortunately, they've not, I wouldn't say they walked into my trap, other than gone, there is a trap. Let's walk into it. So we've got Ava, we've got Rai, and we've got Cham facing off against a monstrosity previously known as Clayton. You can see, again, just to describe, as you were making your way towards the comms array, Ava was the one to spot it, that the comms array, a part of it sort of turned away and became this sort of suited, this EVA sort of creature with the long arms which have broken the suit at the elbows and the legs. This huge sort of cowl with bits of hair sort of falling off it, this sort of gelatinous sort of like white lucent big eyes, huge teeth and claws, barely recognizable as Clayton at this point. And she leaps towards you. So we are going to go straight into combat. So normally, if we're around a table, we usually have cards numbered from 1 to 10. I allow the players to take them before I take some myself, and then we go in order from lowest to highest. We can't do that, unfortunately, on stream. I'm sure there is a way to do it. I just can't be bothered. So we're going to roll some d10s for me, folks. So please, those people who are in combat, so that is Ava, that is Rai, that is Cham, please roll me a d10 and let me know what you get.
3.
Ava
4.
got 3. Fantastic.
I also got a 4. So is it
Excellent. You just bargain who goes first,
cool?
because I'm not going to
Well,
make you.
Given that my entire first action is to run away,
Mm-hmm.
we can probably resolve that quite quickly and let you do an actual cool thing, Jam.
And then I will roll for Ms. Clayton. And fun fact, her speed is 2, so that means she rolls 2 and gets 2 goes in the initiative order.
Mhm.
Ooh. She got a 2 and a 5. So she will be going first and last. A double whammy at the end. Excellent. All right. So, as always, I'll explain. I don't get to roll. I don't get to decide what the creatures in the alien universe do. There is a handy little table I have. And actually, I appreciate. It's very difficult to show on screen, but I'm going to show you a picture of what she looks like. And I appreciate this is very dark artwork, but I'm going to just put it up to the camera, and I'm sure it's not it. But that's the sort of vision you get, sort of a horrified, sort of almost mummy-like look, the extended maw, etc. Exciting. Lovely. I'm going to ask Captain Miller to be, because you rolled so well last time, Captain Miller. It only makes sense for you to roll well again. Can you roll for me a d6 to determine what the abomination does?
I rolled the llama dice. Served me well. I rolled a llama. That's a 6. I don't know what that means. Maybe it's the best thing you could all hope for.
Twice. So the last time you rolled a 6, Wilson
Yep.
got skewered. So.
Yeah.
It's the anti-corpo die. Let's call it that.
Let's call it
right?
Well, it's in the opposite direction.
No!
All right. I'm going to make a roll myself now to choose who it targets.
The air, the vacuum of space is what it targets.
The Kronos.
Absolutely. So 1 to 2, Rai. 3 to 4, Ava. 5 to 6, Cham. It lunges straight for Rai.
Of course it does.
You just see this creature jump off, almost impossibly so, with the gravity, and you sort of look up, and it makes sense. You were trying to you sort of are looking for cover at this point. You see it coming, almost reflected in your helmet, the light in the very darkness of this. This place hasn't been lit up apart from your headlights. You look up as it rushes towards you and grabs your helmet, and I'll read you what it says. This attack is called Head Crush. It tries to crush your helmet with its bare hands. Now I need to roll for an attack. So I've got to roll 7 base damage with a success equaling 1.
Is that
If-
all?
If the attack causes damage, it automatically triggers critical injury 64, which kills the victim outright. So
Jesus, fuck me, Ona.
This is your fault, Llama. Why did you do this to me, Llama?
so
Look at this little shit.
I'm going to roll
I'm just gonna say
Smug
Cobb,
little
I
llama.
I have 4 armor. Does that help me in any way, shape, or form?
No. I'm going to roll the dice one at a time. Okay.
Oh my god.
So many dice.
The clatter of doom.
think she's gotten stuck in a loop.
Owen. Let's just end the session there.
Will they for I?
These claws go straight to your head, right? And you see it cracking into your helmet. And unfortunately, I rolled 2 successes. So, what's the last thing Rye does?
She panicked. The last thing that she did was panic. And her instinct, even before she had seen this thing coming from the peripheral, just the vastness of space was enough to put her on the back foot. And so she's already trying to retreat.
Mm-hmm.
And in that moment of panic, I think that's where she loses the ability to see the blow coming. I think it's fast. I think she barely realizes it's happening. And her last thoughts are of her brother. And how, for all she knows, she could be going to meet him now. But the reality is that she's let him down one last time.
Captain Miller.
Yeah.
I'm going to say for ease that you would be seeing this on the head cams. You would have been patched into the system perhaps whilst the rest of the Kronos crew. You just see from sort of the head cam looking up the face, this monstrous face of corporate. And the static cuts. Miller and Cham, stress level goes up by 1. Ava does not suffer stress. Ava, it's your go.
Great. 2 things.
Of course.
One, I think I was like, because I got those 2 successes on the observation, so I think I was like in the process of screaming like "get back"
Mhm.
as Clayton like sails past and just does the
Mhm.
attack.
Mhm.
The other thing I was imagining is like as like a shot, not to like step on your toes, but
Please.
like as the hands are like cracking each time the crack in the helmet pops up, like a flash cut to the photograph like burning back on the floor, and then the last one is like at this like right as the helmet is about to explode, it
Mhm.
instead cuts to the like the photograph just like smoldering in ash
Absolutely.
instead of like the head exploding. That's my
Oh, 100%.
visual. It's
Yes.
whatever it is you want to imagine.
No. Oh, your visuals, Raina, are... I'll take that in the director's cut. Absolutely. So, yes.
Well, I don't have any weapons.
There's an
No.
incinerator up for grabs now.
I was going to say, some things are now up for grabs.
Yeah, so like what logistically, right? The 2 of you are like effectively wrestling, quote unquote.
Yes, this basically it did almost like a monkey leap essentially. The way it moves, this creature, it sort of like runs on all 4s and has jumped an impossible jump because it's in gravity without gravity, and has just sort of leapt on top of Rye, and is squeezed like there. And as it obviously breaks the helmet and Rye's head, the body stays still because it is still magnetized to the outer hull of the ship, and it's just sort of there. And it's in that action that you sort of react to this. So what would you like to do?
Does Ava's programming extend to harm against non-human threats? Where on the three laws of robotics do we?
I see. You can. I think. Interesting. This is clearly a big threat. It has killed what you would consider somebody who has helped you and fixed you up, someone that you would consider part of your interconnected family and stuff like that. You do recognize that this was somebody formerly part of the crew, but they are now showing tendencies of aggression towards other members, and you can't allow for that, if you see what I mean. If that's the easiest way of programming it, or computing it, if you see what I mean.
Right.
It's not like you can go up and go, stop. Enough.
Right, because like Bishop can defend himself, for example. So
exactly. Like, oh yes, absolutely.
I don't have one of those faulty Seeks and Working Joe inhibitors.
No.
I think Ava like sees this happen and like immediately is like, threat assessment, right? We're not Terminator vision, but like that's the calculation. It's like,
Pit
oh,
Boy, sort of like
that's a
the rads, yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Grabs the nearest whatever, like nearest tool or weapon that Rye is carrying and like attempts to unsling it and no, like we're all next to each other, right?
Yeah, I would say you were walking together at this point. Yeah,
I think she just shoves Clayton like backwards.
Oh, I love it. Yes, let's do some shoving.
Which is an action, is it not?
It is an action, yes. So in the Alien universe, when we do combat, movement is a bit willy-nilly. Essentially, you can move from zone to zone, etc. But you have a fast action and a slow action. Slow actions are sort of the ones that you do the shooty with, essentially, and slow actions are the shooty, and fast ones are a little bit different. So I'm just going to check what shoving is, because there's always shove in these things. Shove an enemy to short range. That's a close combat roll. So I think that's strength, close combat to shove this creature. And that is a fast action.
All right.
So yeah, so strength plus close combat. You are an android. You do not have stress.
No successes.
Oh, and unfortunately you can't push the roll. So you try and get in there, and you're trying to prise this creature off the body of Rye, and it is straight in there. Its claws are pretty much gripped into the EVA suit. It is not budging. Is there anything else you'd like to do? I'll give you an example of the other slow actions. I'll give you that sort of, you try to shove and then you can decide to do anything else. So we have, you have crawl, shoot firearm, close combat attack, full burst of full auto fire, throw weapon, reload, first aid. I'm going to say that now. It's not going to work. Stop panicking. Give orders, persuade, new signature item, climb into a spacesuit, and start an engine. Those are examples of slow actions.
Yeah, I don't think I can't do like 90% of those because they require having a weapon or
your fists are also weapons.
Right. And can I trade a slow for a fast?
Ooh, yes, I think you can do two. I believe it's two fast actions. So yeah, so you can have another go at shoving, perhaps.
Yeah, I think that's probably.
Yep, I can read you out the fast actions if that's helpful. You can run, get up, draw weapon, block an attack, pick up an item, shove an enemy to short range, grapple attack, retreat, aim carefully, seek cover, assume the overwatch position, enter exit vehicle, grab the wheel, drive, use item, and move through door/hatch. Just in case.
Good to file away in the back of the old noggin.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, fast action. I go through the door.
Right.
But yes, I'll give you that. So if you want to use switch your slow action for another fast action, you may certainly do that. The other thing I will say as well, in combat, what happens is when a creature attacks you, you can use one of your actions to block it.
To
so if
block
it goes
it,
for it,
right.
but usually that's your fast action. You've already used your fast action, but I'm going to be that person. So as long as you've got an action, you can do that. If you spend up all your actions, you cannot block. If you see what I mean, it's like reaction
Right.
essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think we'll prepare for the worst. Pragmatism, right? Grab the nearest weapon off of Rye's corpse.
Yeah, we'll go for that incinerator because that will still be in
Probably
her
the
hand.
biggest thing, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cool. Yep. So you grab that, and then are you going to use it, or are you gonna?
Because I don't think I can, because I think pick up is one thing.
Let me. Yes, pick up item. You're correct. So yes, so you have used up all your actions,
Right.
and you are there. Fair enough. Thank you for that. All right. Next up is Cham, and then it's me on deck. Cham, what would you like to
Save
do?
us, Cham.
All right, I think.
Beefy Cham.
Yeah, I think Cham is completely in shock and just involved, like no weeping, just tears are just streaming down her face inside her helmet. But she is completely focused, and she's like, her only thought is like, get this monster off my friend, even though she knows logically that Rye is dead. She wants to get the monster off.
Of
So
course.
she's gonna take Ava's cue and is like, I'm stronger, I can do this, and it's just gonna try and shove, and it's gonna try and like, presumably Clayton has the same kind of magnetized gravity thing as us, or is it more...
So you can tell the way this monstrosity is moving. It did at one point, but actually looking at the feet, the sort of toes have burst out. This whole thing is sort of elongated. It's almost as if the whole body has changed. So it doesn't necessarily work. It has a weird way of grappling itself to things, almost like using. It's almost like using Chai's body as Rye's body as a climbing gym, essentially, like moving our way around.
It's just disrespectful.
I'm just telling it how it is.
I think my ultimate goal is to yeet Clayton off into space, but I realize that that's a tall order, but that's what Cham is thinking in this moment. So okay.
Hey, I'm all for that. So that is a strength close combat to shove this thing out.
Nice. That one's cocked. That's cocked again. Okay. One success.
Okay, one success. I'm gonna do an opposed roll because I don't want to move. So do that.
So many dice. It's like, just one. Come on,
any of them. Yeah, that's the thing I found, is that no matter how much dice you read, it's always down to the last couple. No successes. So you managed to break free somehow. Some sort of strength within you, Cham. You think back to all those moments you had with Rye, helping out, cleaning out the air filter, those conversations you've had, and you just, that's my fucking friend, and you pull and you manage to shove off. So it is currently in motion going off into space, but it's still close to you. So that is your fast action. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Cham?
I've got a bolt gun, might as well for good measure just shoot a bolt into it.
Do it. Let's do it. Okay. That is I think it's agility, ranged weapons, I think.
Yeah, it's not a great roll for me, but I just,
Yeah, you're angry.
Probably the best thing in the void of space, too, because I don't think that incinerator unit is going to work out in the vacuum.
It's not going to work.
Yeah. No
I
I'm
was
no
success.
still gonna
scientist,
try.
but
No, I know. I liked it. I was like, oh, good luck.
No
for it, chap.
successes, unfortunately. So it just
No.
kind of angrily shoots one off, and it sort of ricochets off into.
Yeah,
The
if anything,
void.
I mean, it hits it. You fully, and it just bounces off its horrible sort of bulbous cowl sort of thing, and it's almost as if it hardens slightly as it's sort of again screaming, but you don't hear it per se. It's always, or if it's one of those sort of space sci-fi, it's screaming, and you can just hear your own breathing as it starts to leave your space. It's now its go. Captain Miller. Do you want to roll your llama dice again, or do you want to pick a different die?
Drama Lama die, you had your day in the sun. We're going to go with like sparkly heart die.
Ooh, lovely.
6.
Yeah. Death.
4.
Does a little
Okay.
jig.
I rolled llama dice just to curious what would have happened.
Hello, my
A
baby.
1 would have happened with the llama die.
Oh, well, there you go. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. All right. It starts to float off before sort of like a long arm sort of reaches out, impossibly long, grabbing onto the external thing, and using its momentum, it jumps. And I'm going to roll 1 to 3. It goes for Ava. 4 to 6 goes for Cham. Goes for Ava. This thing just sort of leaps and does a pounce attack. It will leap onto its victim like a big monkey. Roll the attack using 8 base die, 1 damage. If the attack hits, the victim is knocked to the ground, drops any handheld item, and must make an immediate panic roll. Obviously, you're an android, you do not need to panic. The abomination then starts pounding the victim with its powerful fists. This is resolved as an immediate bonus action with 12 base dice, 2 damage. So let's see if it hits first.
This is Alien, you know?
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8. Should we roll them one at a time, folks? Yeah.
Right, I just got
Shall
back
we?
with the first character.
Feels like we're gonna meet all the NPCs and you're gonna like it.
Mhm. You kept them in the hole, didn't you?
They're
They've had a lot of
safe.
time to think.
They're safe and happy and secure.
And start wailing on me like I've disrespected the son of a shepherd. Jesus.
You know, we were saying before about rolling dice
Listen,
and how the more dice you roll, the less likely you were going to roll a success. I rolled 8 dice. I rolled no successes.
Wow.
favoritism.
Oh,
So Ava, this creature comes towards you. How do you prevent it? You see these 2 fists coming at you. How do you prevent it from hitting you? Or like it grapples with you. Like, I want to give you that sort of agency. How does it not hit you, essentially?
I feel like she just throws the incinerator unit up to like a staff.
Yeah.
Because she's like still like she doesn't like slung it. It's like in
Mhm.
one hand
Mm-hmm.
by the shoulder strap. And so
Mhm.
I think she just sees it coming and like instinctively like no, there's no facial expression. It's just an instinct of like something's coming. Nope. No. And like maybe shakes her head a little bit. Like maybe shoves it off just a teeny bit and like goes to grab instinctively like one of the handholds on the side of the ship.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, you can see as you lift it up, it's horrible, sort of long, like almost the way it bends. It's almost like super hyper flexible. You know, it's trying to get through and it's trying to get towards you, and you're like, no, you've experienced this before.
Yeah. It's that stiff movement that every android has in the films that's like
Yeah. Okay, top of the round. Clayton goes again. Miller, could you roll?
Happy heart die, happy heart die.
bring it on, ding dong.
Famous
That's
last
a
words.
5.
There you go.
This attack is called arm pull.
Delightful.
What could that possibly entail, Fiona?
The abomination grabs the victim's arm and tries to pull it clean off with its bare hands. Roll for the attack using 6 base die, 1 damage. If the attack causes damage, it automatically triggers a critical injury 54. It'll be different on the Android thing. And triggering an immediate panic roll, which obviously does not happen. So it reaches through and tries to grab sort of one of your sort of limbs, Ava. I'm going to roll 6.
Honestly, I'm the best possible person for this to happen to.
Yeah.
Unless Clayton is so like feral, decides to maybe keep going after Rye's body again.
Let's roll individually again. I quite like.
Sadist.
Oh, balls! I thought I would have it on the last one. No successes again. This is why. This is why you get other players to roll your 6s for you. So yeah, it goes and you can feel it, Ava. It sort of attaches itself, and it feels awful. You remember back in the mess hall when you were attacked by its cousin, essentially, this horrible crab-like scorpion thing, and it's not the same. And you don't necessarily tense up because you don't want more damage to be caused, but you sort of almost go with it. You sort of follow through with that movement, and it is unable to pull your arm off. It's now Ava's go.
Revenge.
Well, this weapon is useless, and I know that as a player and as a character.
Yes. Space.
But it'll be really useful if I survive.
Correct.
I think the only thing that like is really, really useful is just to try and shove it back into space.
Yeah.
Again, right? So
Yeah.
that's what we're doing.
Do it. Yeah. I mean, you've got the strength to do it.
Right. I'm stronger than the average human, even if I don't have any training in close combat. One of these 5 dice is going to hit. One of these 5 dice did hit.
Yes.
Excellent. All right. I will roll quickly the opposed.
20 successes.
My God, no successes again. This bloody creature is like, "Ah!" like just nothing against you. So you shove it off into space again. You throw it. So that is your fast action. Or do you want to do a slow action at all? Or exchange it for a fast action?
I would suggest running away, but I also
Yeah,
don't
I'm
want to.
gonna like scramble towards the Comare actually.
Oh, okay, yeah, absolutely, yeah. You're within reach of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to try and fix it?
I think I can only run, quote unquote. With a
I would say you would have arrived at. I think I've sort of positioned. I guess we're doing theatre of the mindset. You're right next to it, so I'm very much happy for you to go and do an action rather than the sort of I run and do this, if you see what I mean. So
okay, yeah, like kind of roll them together. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it makes sense because you're like, we must fix this. Yeah,
right. I think that's like 100% like where her mind is at. Is like, okay, threat is temporarily disabled.
Yep.
Let me try and solve this other problem.
100%. So yeah, as you get to the thing, you can see around this comms array what looks like a makeshift kit as well, as almost as if somebody else was trying to fix it before possibly an infection set in. So a lot of the work is done. It just needs a few more. So I need you to roll me, I think I said a heavy machinery check. So I think that's strength.
Heavy machinery or comtech?
Oh, you're right. Apologies. It's because I rolled 2 things into one. It is a com check. So wits com check for the thing. Okay. So that makes more sense because you are an android. Beep boop.
Computers, yeah. Well, I think it's because the engines had more heavy machinery.
Correct. That's because I was just thinking about the turn ahead and
right
that was happening.
You're 3 steps ahead in GM land. I understand.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm just there sitting in my alien high castle going good.
Right. Steepled fingers and everything. The little anime glint off of your glasses. Like so much Gendo.
Mhm,
2
mhm.
successes.
Excellent. So
Nice.
yes, with that, you sort of you do it, and it's almost you sort of time slows down for you a little bit, Ava, as you are sort of going. You can see things, and Cham, if you're paying attention to Ava, you could just see her hands just whizzing away, essentially, just quickly, almost like I'm in hacking mode, essentially, as the Comare comes to life and is fixed.
Yeah, I'll be
Next up,
spending my stunt to do it quickly in half the time it would normally do, right?
100%
Oh,
beautiful.
it's the it's the bishop knife trick
Yeah.
with the fingers. It's just like
It actually makes you feel sick looking at it, Cham. So, yes, that's the so yeah, if you get an extra success on something, usually something good happens for it. It tends not to come up necessarily because in combat it's like extra damage, but I like that as a thing. So yes, you do it in half the time needed. Perfect. It's now, unfortunately, it's just Cham's go because Rai's been indisposed.
Yeah, thanks.
indisposed.
Yeah. I think having seen that Ava has fixed the Comare
Mhm.
and that Clayton is still temporarily spaced,
Mhm,
though
mhm.
may be coming back to grab us any minute, I think I
Mhm.
would like to grab Ava and try and pull us both back through the airlock into the ship and just
Go,
run
go.
away. Just like, yep, we're done what we came here to do.
Time to
and
go.
yeah, time to go.
Yeah, I'd say you can spend both of your actions to do that. It makes sense. Like you're strong as well. And as soon as Ava's on, you're just pulling, and you can, and both of you get off to a running start. And yeah, you get to the airlock. But before we finish combat, I get another go.
The absolute shenanigans that is this game.
I love it. I know Miller, you've rolled quite a lot, but I would like to give it over to Rye.
I gotta
You
go.
roll a d6.
Did Cham and Ava
Feeling
see what
pleated.
color the liquid coming from Rye was?
It's red. You know it's red. I rolled 4.
You rolled a 4. That's another arm pull, I think. Oh no, it's a pounce. Ooh, yay! You just look back as this airlock shuts. I think to make this more exciting, let's go, because I appreciate, Cham, you've not had a role in combat yet. I would like you to do as in like because obviously we had a comm check. Do a heavy machinery roll for me, please, as you're trying to finish this airlock before this creature gets inside with you.
Okay. It's a lot of dice. And that is 1 success.
Oh, you just see this horrible visage of Wayland Yutani corporate coming straight towards you, and the airlock shuts and depressurizes, leaving. What's it that the old Taylor Swift song says? Rye can't come to the phone right now.
Why?
Because she's dead.
She's dead.
So, Darcy, we will sort you out a character at the end of the stream. Unfortunately, you didn't die before the break.
No, the first 5 minutes after the break, which was incredible timing.
It was a great timing, but I will show you NPC sheets for that as well. But we will get you to do some rolling and some helpful stuff as well, just for the rest of the session, because I don't want you to sit there and not do anything. Because
I'm just going to sit here and watch the rest of them die, right?
yeah, that's how it works.
Popcorn.
I should
Get your popcorn.
So, Captain Miller, you see all this action happening, and just first, I'd say let's do a quick scene just before then. So obviously you come to the cryo chambers, and you see Reed is there at the door waiting for you, and alongside Reed you have both Flynn, the scientist, and and Johns as well, looking quite stony faced. So this is just before the fight. Is there anything that you say to them?
I will update them. Now that Miller has decided, okay, we're going to join teams.
Mm-hmm.
We're all one crew now. I'm choosing to trust these 3 people in front of me. She would share, we saw these urns.
Mm-hmm.
Our corporate liaison got killed. We didn't have time to investigate the body or see what did it. your comms array picked up a ship nearby. Ours did too, and we couldn't verify it. My crew is out on the hull right now, trying to fix the comms array. And Clayton was ready to book out of here. She locked everything behind her, so there's nothing we can access anymore. But hopefully, we'll find her. We'll get the her access card off her, and we're going to start putting safety protocols on Mother to protect ourselves.
Understood, says Reed. Should it come to it, Captain, is there any request or orders to follow? Should I just... and it speaks frankly in front of both Johns and Flynn. Should what happened to Cooper happen to one of us, what are your orders?
Isolate, put down. It's a mercy kill at that point.
Understood. And she cinematically her own shotgun.
Flynn, do you happen to have one of those vials on you? With your inoculations?
No, we didn't have that. There might be some. If there's none in the Medilab, then we could try the science lab. That's where we were making them.
Davis, can I have one?
Yeah, Davis gives one over.
We're one crew. A crew is supposed to trust each other. I'm gonna do my goddamn best to get us all out of here. I can't do it alone. My friends are doing what they can. We're putting all ourselves in danger. I lead from the trenches with my crew alongside me. Let that be known. And she'll ask Flynn to help administer as she takes a deep breath. Holds like the longest breath she can in her lungs and unclicks her EVA suit. Still holding her breath, she'll try to like slink half her torso out, unzip it, kind of crawling half out of it. And her lips are really like pressed together. There's tension, not just from holding her breath, but just like, what did Cooper know? That he didn't want to take it. But these people in front of me are fine. Cham is fine. I need to be fine and just fine enough to get us to survive. And I roll up my sleeve and still holding my breath. My last second is just like give the inoculation to Flynn to administer it.
Captain Miller, I need you to make for me a strength stability check. Let me just double check. I do think that was that. I just read it. I literally just read it and it's gone. It's always good, isn't it?
Strength, stamina?
Stamina. That was it. I was going to say agility. That doesn't work. Yes. Strength, stamina check, please, against.
And I can use story points to force a success before or after I roll?
Whenever you want. But this is a good point. When you use a story point, you automatically have one success, but you would still need to roll for this because of panic. You'd include stress on this because there's a chance that you still would fail.
Fair. Okay, so let's see what happens.
Yes,
roll
of
the
course.
strength. I got stressed.
They all won.
We lost the stress die. Oh no. Okay, we're gonna go to a different die set. Okay. Strength stamina. One success and 1, but this is on the stamina check.
Yep.
Now the stress, which is
so one success
more
so
of
far.
them. One on the panic die.
Okay.
No other successes. Do I need to know whether or not to use that this is an overall success to meet the threshold or not?
So, when you roll a 1 on the panic die, you can't push the roll. But you basically, for transparency, when you roll a panic check, obviously it's a d6 plus your stress level. If you get over a 10, that cancels your action, if you see what I mean. So that means you would
Okay.
fail. So you need to roll low on your panic check.
Oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay. Roll low, roll low, roll low, roll low. That's a 6 plus 3 is 9.
All right, so that is a dropped item. We'll deal with that in a second, but you have not failed the check. So you've got 2 successes, correct?
1.
1 success. Did you not get a 1 on your stress?
I got a 1 on my stress.
Yeah, I think you had 2. I think you had 1 on your big wall at the beginning, and
Yeah.
that's
Okay,
fine. No, that's fine because I now have to roll. I'm only rolling 6. And let's roll them one at a time, shall we?
God damn it.
Let you have all the drama. Like Miller's eyes just keep like darting between the vial pressed up to her arm and between like Reed's shotgun. Just keeps darting back and forth.
You breathe in, and you feel a small slight scratch as the inoculation, and you feels quite cool. And you breathe, and, letting the air go between your pursed lips. You start to breathe in the Cronus' air, and as the stuff goes into your bloodstream, and you focus, and you can hear the blood rushing through your ears, the adrenaline, your heart beating fast. You think back to what you saw. That face, that horrible, horrible, elongated, inhuman, alien face that took your friend away. A minute goes by. 2. Nothing happens.
Fuck. It's scary. Trust is scary, but fuck. If you don't mind, I'm going to ask my crew to do this on their own time because fuck, but...
Sure. Flynn sort of has been holding your arm this whole time, hasn't let go, just to be like a supportive. And it's like, as far as we're aware, there is no side effects, perhaps, a little bit of itching, perhaps, but from what we've seen, it is fully safe. It was in its initial stages, of course. I don't wish to... No, shut up, Flynn.
But itching, you say? That's as far as it got?
A minor side effect, yes.
All right. Just in case.
Yeah,
I will be transparent.
Yes,
I don't want to turn into that thing. I don't want to take out the people I care about.
No, yes. You see, Flynn is like, oh no, am I okay? No, we don't want that either. Look, we want of this as much as you do, but we'll follow whatever you say. Look, look, if needed, I can make up some more stuff in the Medilab. I can make sure that we've maybe, a way to clear out the air filtrations. Like the inoculation should help us against the airborne motes and stuff like that. So we can help with clearing that out if that is what you wish. I'm more than happy to show you what we were looking at in the lab, getting you any notes and stuff like that.
Okay. Johns, what are you able to do?
Right. Yes. Well, I did have access to Mother. I
Okay.
seem to have mislaid my key card. But if we can find the android, she had emergency access to Mother. At least she would have been given that, perhaps. I can. I mean, well, technically you've taken charge here, so obviously Mother would answer to you, but normally I would be, and it's just basically fumbling over your presence. Like, you've just come in badassly, just like taken the inoculation, and he's just like, right, my turn. You.
I imagine Miller just kind of like listening and just like holding up her other arm to like calm down Davis before Davis like jumps all over.
I like the idea. Davis has stayed out of the room and is just swearing, but you can't hear her through the yeah.
Okay.
Wet, sopping.
Okay.
A rag of a man. And Johns goes, does she have to be here? It's very hard to work under this sort of stress. And look, I appreciate you've saved us and stuff like that, but I'm finding it quite a negative work environment.
Davis is a very honest person. However, Davis pulls her weight. Davis is extremely skilled at what she does.
Yep.
And even if she thinks these things, even if she says them to your face, she will have your back.
So she's saying mean things because she likes us.
I mean, if she said nothing, that means you wouldn't occupy any space in her mind at all. That's kind of worse, don't you think?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, Captain, yes.
All right. Rules are simple. No one wanders off alone. Anyone else here armed?
Reed just goes, just me.
Oh, God.
We left most of the military personnel on 11-13.
I give my M4A3 service pistol 1 reload.
Mhm.
Oh, I dropped an item, Game Mother, in full transparency.
Yes, you did. What items do you have?
That I have the service
Give me your
pistol.
items.
The service pistol, another 9mm pistol,
Mhm.
the black vial, a storm rifle, and my special item, which is attached to my arm.
I'm going to hold on to it for now. You will drop an item, but I'm going to pick a moment for it, if that's okay. And I'll tell you what it is.
I am horrified as a player, but I am just like, that is brilliant as a player. Wow.
I know which one it is, but it doesn't make
course.
sense in the current scene.
Okay.
So yes, Reed is the only one that is armed. And you were going to give over a pistol. Sorry, to who?
Shit. Fuck. Shit. Flynn.
There's a moment where Johns reaches out and you just pass over him to give it to Flynn, and he's like, "Oh, thank you." Holds it as a scientist would hold a gun, badly, but rightens up and holds it, and clearly has had a bit of training. You think so? Holds it with the safety on and everything like that, and sort of looks to you and goes, "Okay, what are your orders, Captain Miller?"
Game Mother, remind me, the engine is to be repaired within the ship, or is that also externally?
So the engines have to be put online by external works, which is what your team is doing. But it will need like a run through with the reactor Otherwise, you'll have another Montero incident where it just you got to basically reboot the system for the power.
Okay, I explained that is our next course of action.
Mhm.
Well, this is before I know or during.
This is just
my friend.
before. Yeah, no, this
Yeah.
is just before because I said that you were seeing this. Yeah. So I just wanted to make sure that you because I did say in that sort of scene you had the Chronos True around you helping you. So yeah, you can say you're on your way, and then that's when you were hearing commotions and stuff. So you went to the bridge to try and figure out what's going to try and get into their comm link essentially. So we'll say that. But yeah, so I guess yeah, you could say that we're on our way to the reactor before the fight happens, and then now we can zip forward to the end of that fight. You would be aware, because you're looking at the systems on the bridge, that the airlock has opened and shut, and and two sort of the two EVA suits. So one EVA suit, sorry, Cham's is in the airlock. And there would be like a separate life form signature, which would indicate Ava is also there as well. There's an indication that there's another EVA suit on the outside, or two EVA suits on the outside. One, you would, that's a good point, actually. Captain Miller, I'd like you to roll for me a wits comm check.
This is a stressful situation.
Oh, mate, it is.
Success on the wits and then the stress. So many dice. Six. Oh, no ones on the stress die. Oh, but another success. So that's a total of 2 successes.
Beautiful. So with that contract, you are looking into these, like you're looking for the signatures. You are probably looking to see where Rye is. You can get the signature from their suit that is still there. You get the signature of the other suit, which sort of is next to the airlock before eventually moving away and going around and hiding. Well, not hiding, but sort of in the area of engine pod 1. Engine pod 2, sorry, the lower one. Goes past the comm array signal.
I'll tap into the Montero crew.
So just
what happened? Rye, are you there? What happened?
I think Cham at this point has just like collapsed on all fours just outside the airlock and is just weeping.
Yeah, I still have the headset. So like, I see this, and I think Ava kneels, and like very gently has a hand on Cham's shoulder because like she's coded it. Her secondary function I think has been like caregiver or something, right? Like
yes,
some kind of medic. I have training in medical aid, so she's like, take your breather, right? And taps on the little customer service headset. Miss Rye didn't make it.
And Clayton?
Outside.
Doing what?
But not as you knew her.
Oh.
The parasite, the infection, whatever it is, she was overtaken and was in the process possibly of repairing or further sabotaging the comm array, and we were ambushed.
And Rye's still out there.
What's left of her?
Fuck. All right. Ava
I'm sorry,
and
Captain.
Cham. We'll get emotional later. Ava and Cham, I've released the rest of the Chronos crew. They will be working alongside us. And also for your information, I took the inoculation. I feel fine. And Sensors say that Clayton, or whatever the fuck Clayton is now, is heading towards Engine Pod 1. I'm done with monsters tearing us apart. I am done with the whims of the corporates climbing their ladders, killing us on their way up. I am done with it. I'm going to fix this ship. Get rid of anything that will hurt us. And we are going home. You need to understand that I don't give a flying fuck about any of the valuables here. The ship is what matters. The safety of the crew is what matters. Fuck the corporate yoke. Our lives matter here, goddammit.
I understand. If there's anything that I can do to ensure your safety, please let me know. Making sure every human being aboard the Kronos comes out of this alive is my highest priority.
All right. Ava, I will need your help shortly to get into the mother computer so we can close off sections of the ship so that these goddamn monsters can't target us the way they are anymore. They're still crawling through the vent. I don't know where they are. We can't let them hurt us. Not the way they hurt Rye. And fuck, even Wilson didn't deserve to go out like that. Not Cooper. Anyone else was left down on the planet. I'm done with it. We have work to do. Let's go.
Ava, you remember now, with your data banks now more reattached than they were previously, because you don't have your keycard on you, but you remember the last place you had it was in one of the science labs.
Captain, the access card, which should provide us near unlimited passage across the Kronos, I believe it's still in the science labs.
All right. Davis is familiar with the science lab, I believe. I kind of raised my eyebrow at Davis.
She raised her eyebrows back, correcting you in the sense of, I know the Medilab. I did not go into the science labs.
Ava, if I retrieve this card, do I still need your assistance with Mother, or is it something I can access myself?
It should grant you access to the Mother terminal if there's any further damage that was done to Mother's internals, or if there's anything that you need me to bypass. I would be of use to you, but at the very least, it will get you in the door.
Correct.
All right. Cham, Ava, stay together. No one walks alone. Davis and I will meet you on the way to the science lab. Cham, I'd like you to take point directing the Kronos crew what exactly we need to do to get this ship up and running. And god damn it, Clayton's monster is near engine pod 1, but fuck.
I think you hear Cham's comms turning on, and there's a few kind of ragged breaths before you hear a very quiet, "Yes, Captain."
Okay. So, Cham, you make your way up to the bridge with the rest of the Kronos crew. Are you, Captain Miller, are you taking the Kronos crew with you to the science labs?
Ooh, they're out?
Flynn offers.
Mhm.
Reed insists. John says nothing. The three faces of evil.
You know what? Since I don't have concrete instructions for them, and I delegate Cham to do that. For now, let's walk together. There's safety in numbers.
Okay.
And I will also share with Reed and John that despite the arms that they have, Ava, the android, has informed us that fire is more preferable, but, better than nothing.
At the mention of the android, you definitely, without needing to roll this at all, you see Reed sort of stiffen slightly. But obviously composure is sort of regained. And you can just see Flynn's face sort of pales a little bit. But he's like, of course. Mhm.
What is it?
So, this is Flynn. I'm sorry, Captain. I'm not a fan of. They're just weird. The synthetics. A sort of uncanny valley effect. It's just a apologies. It's just a layover. I appreciate the time. This is just a reaction to that.
Okay. They're not everyone's cup of tea. Fine.
Yes.
Has the android done anything that has endangered your lives? Have they followed other orders that you think are contrary to the survival and the success of the human crew, not the bottom line, but of the crew?
Well, she didn't play my request at karaoke that one time. I did think that was a bit of a slight against me. I mean, I quite like Bon Jovi, but I mean, she did insist that it was, it's part of the popularity of votes, and it didn't get enough votes. But I digress. No, Captain, no.
All right. We didn't necessarily like each other, and I gesture to Davis, who's probably like smiling.
Yeah.
Halfway between smiling and gritting her teeth at them, like almost
Yeah.
baring her
Oh,
fangs.
100%. Yeah. Badass cop in the back. Absolutely.
But if we're on the same team, we need to work together. I'm more of a 9-inch nails person, but we'll get to it.
Oh, well, I look forward to our new Kronos karaoke nights. And a genuine sort of like laugh comes from Flynn at this point.
Okay. And I gesture them that we just walk in tight formation, and I appreciate maybe Reed also actually being a trained security professional, being able to like properly move us and maneuver us efficiently, able to gauge like where potential threats might come from, because Miller is constantly always looking at the air vents, air ducts in particular.
You're always looking up now. Yes, I know.
Like this paranoia in her.
Absolutely. So just to confirm, everyone is going to the science lab then, or is Cham doing their own thing? Just checking Miller. Just wanted to.
Yeah. I needed Ava, but I don't want to leave Cham alone. So at the moment, it feels like everyone is going to converge in one single place for the first time, or for a long time.
You could always leave Davis with Cham.
That's a good point, but we have to get them to meet together.
Yeah, I mean they'll easily. I will say everyone comes up because I think everyone's on. Yeah, everything's on deck B, so everyone can come up and you meet together on the bridge.
Okay,
absolutely. Yeah. I'm not. Yeah,
I can send Davis and Cham, and they can come up with a plan and prepare the Kronos crew once we get what we need in the science lab.
Cool. So it's just more me, Fiona,
understanding.
You're leaving Cham and Davis in the bridge, and everyone's coming with you. Everyone else is coming with you to the science labs.
Sure.
Cool. Just making sure. Just trying to think about how many NPCs to play. That's all.
Fair.
Cool. All right. So you make your way to the science labs. Let's look at the book, shall we? So you pass by the Medilab, and you will remember from a few sessions ago, there was definitely some damage to the medipods at the back. You can see there's damage along the walls and stuff, and actually the medipod section as well. Davis will gently poke her head in and look back to you and goes, closed off. Looks like the bulkhead got decompressed and is locked away from you. Now, you know from your monitors, your heads-up display in your HUD, that there are 2 science labs. There is science lab number 1, which is down towards the south, and there's science lab number 2. Which one would you like to go towards?
Whichever Ava recalls their where she last saw her pass.
That will be in lab 1.
Of course. Got to go further into the science sector to get to it.
Yeah.
Of course, of course.
Captain, the key card, I believe, is left in lab number 1. Also, I don't mean to sound crass about it, but I was able to recover an incinerator unit from Rye. Would you like me to surrender my weapon to you?
If it's all right, Ava, let's trade. And I'll since I gave my pistol to, I gave the service pistol to
Flynn.
I'd like to offer my 9mm to Ava in exchange for the incinerator. And I explain, yes, you explained that the conventional weapons may not work against the unconventional, but if someone is in a situation where they are compromised, they are going to be in pain, and they are going to cause harm to others. It is a mercy to take them out quickly. It's not something I enjoy ordering to do.
I've seen firsthand what this pathogen, these creatures, can do to humans, and I wouldn't want to wish that on anyone else. She unslings the thing and presses it in your hands and takes the pistol as, like, you know, almost instinctively, like, check the mag, does the slide work, or the brake, etc. Like,
Yeah.
stuffing it into the jumpsuit. I can't guarantee that I will be able to terminate anyone who is experiencing symptoms, but if an individual becomes a threat, I will do my best to make sure that no harm comes to anyone else.
All right, Ava. And I didn't say this, I said it to everyone else, but welcome to the crew. All right. Yeah, Reed and Flynn can join us, I guess, in science lab. John's is kind of dead weight.
I am right here.
Oh God, I can't leave you alone though.
I'm very happy. I can go to the bridge. I can oversee stuff there with your other 2. Was it Cham and Dave?
And
Oh,
David?
and the angry one. Yes, I remember.
Your call, Johns. I genuinely want you to.
I will
be
take the
useful.
bridge. No. I'll take. And it's already backing away.
No detours.
Orders taken, Captain. And if a man could scuttles back up in a non-alien way, in a more I'm a weak man and I need to be given orders way. And I just want to end on 2 small scenes, if that's okay. I appreciate we're going a little bit over time, but I think it's important to go. So you're making your way down to the science labs, walking fast, places fast, and you're homebound. No. Yeah.
You have to do the doobity doos. If you don't, you're a cop.
It's not an alien game if you don't do the doobity doos. But as you go down to the science sector, the lights are flickering slightly. Again, as we've sort of said, it's still whilst the ship itself is functioning slightly, it's still not 100%. And before you get to the science lab, there is, well, everyone, I think, bar Ava. Although Ava, you will be able to tell your senses can pick it up, but there is a horrible stench of decay. It's overwhelming, and it's coming from inside Science Lab 1. You ready yourselves? And you go to press the button to open Science Lab 1. But we shift back to the bridge. And whilst John, or Johns, comes in and probably proceeds to have not a telling off, but a talking to by Davis, and Cham sort of just sat there going, "What? No thanks." There is a blip on the sensor as the comma ray receives a message from a ship which is right next to the Kronos. And we're going to leave it there tonight, chaps.
But they
I
were
think-
out. They would have seen it. They're like, ship.
Yeah, weirdly they didn't though. There was a bit of a fight going on, and maybe using the Kronos as cover. So thank you so much.
There.
Meow.
Just uncloaks like a bird of prey.
Ah,
Meow.
I
Thank
will
you
totally
so
sign up for a Battle fight.
Thank you so much for joining us for our 6th session of Alien. This rounds off Act 2 of Alien. We're now going into the final act, obviously Act 3. Let me tell you what the name of it is, my wonderful friends. So that was The Long Night. Final act is called Divided We Fall.
No, we're united now. We're united.
We're united indeed, but I want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to pass around the same thing so people can do their outros before finishing up with some notices from the stream itself. So I'm going to pass it over to the wonderful Raina. Please take it away.
Okay. I'm Raina. You can find me on Twitter at Lucia and Lattes, but you can also find me at Target. If you go to your local Target, you can find an adventure that I wrote in the Avatar Legends starter set. So this is an exclusive at Target for the next month or so, and then it'll be going to your local game stores. So go check that out. You can find the tabletop role-playing games that I write and publish on my own at colorspraygames.itch.io. I'm a voice actor for the queer sci-fi and fantasy audio drama The Penumbra Podcast. That's at The Penumbra Pod on Twitter, thepenumbrapodcast.com. And if I could just sneak one last plug in, currently there is a Kickstarter campaign going on for a game by my friends at Dinoberry Press called You're in Space and Everything's Fucked. If you're a fan of sci-fi horror like Alien and you'd like a different spin on the genre, it's a asymmetric role-playing game for 2 to 5 people where one person plays the Station, which is trying to kill everyone, and one or more people plays the Struggler, who is trying to survive. It is at Bytes, that's Bytes with a B, B-Y, bytes.rip/spacefucked. If we fund, then I get to write a adventure as a stretch goal. So please go check it out and back it, because I would love to write a little something for that game. So
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Raina.
Anybody who hasn't had enough of that kind of content. Hey friends, it's me, JC Darcy. I'm a GM, writer, game designer, performer, and producer. I'm also director of operations here at Girls on These Worlds. I'm just going to talk about my stuff today. I write games. Remember when I used to write games? You can find some of my games and supplements on Itch. You can find some of my old 5e content on DM's Guild. I'm actually available to hire as a GM. If you want me to run a game for you, then you can do that. You can find me on Start Playing. I'm about to wrap up a Blades in the Dark campaign, and I have fallen in love with that system real hard. So if anybody wants to try it out, hit me up. It's great fun. You can find all my details and all my links on my card. And again, I always forget to do my own thing there. No, I misspelled my own name. I'm really good at this. Look how pro I am. Hire me to produce your streams and do all your technical things.
I mean, you did just die, so it's okay.
Fine. That's fine. I get to pick a new character now. It's really
You
exciting.
do. That's the exciting part. I agree. You die, but you live. Thank you so much.
Yes, I've been Maddie, pronouns she, her. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Maddie_abstract. And there's a link in my bio with all the various things that I do. And yeah, I'm just going to move straight on since we're quite close to the end.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much, Maddie.
Hi everyone, I'm Ida. You can find me on Twitter at InThePan. Tomorrow I'll be playing some Brinkwood. We're going to maybe smash into a vampire stronghold. We're going to plan some things. It's going to be fun. We're at twitch.tv/Balrog1911 at 7 p.m. GMT. On Tuesday, we're going to resume our Eberron campaign at Horde of Tales at 7 p.m. GMT. Our community just turned 3 years old, and you're hearing it here first. We're going to do a little giveaway of the module that we've been running, Conrich Manifesto, which is written by Keith Baker and an amazing team of independent writers in the wonderful world of Eberron, which is very different and pulpy and cooler than Forgotten Realms. So definitely check us out there. And as usual, I want to plug Roll for Good. I'm going to keep talking about it every week until the event. Roll for Good is a primarily UK-EU community filled with wonderful, talented, generous volunteers who want to play TTRPGs and use that to raise funds for charities. Our charity this event is ILGA, and ILGA is just get the full name, the International Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Trans, and Intersex Association. Everyone is included. Fuck turfs. And what they specifically do from their website, they raise awareness about LGBTQIA human rights via international forum like United Nations platforms, reviews. They do capacity building trainings. They organize regional conferences all around the world in countries where marginalized people need it the most. And they're really big research buffs where they collect reliable evidence-based data on the laws and attitudes that affect these communities. So when people are saying, it's not this big deal, no, they're wrong. Fact, science-based data to say, no, and this is why it needs to change. We are hurting ourselves and hurting the world if we don't uplift and accept our fellow human beings. So join us May 27, 28 at Roll for Good. Join our community, volunteer. We need producers, we need artists. Soon we're going to call for GMs, players, mods, master of ceremonies, anything under the sun. I've been in some really cool emails with some potentially really big names for intermission content, for promotional things. Come join us. Please help us. Thanks.
Thank you
And yes,
so
fuck turfs.
much. And fuck turfs, absolutely. I mean, that goes without saying, but it's always nice to shout it from the back. Hello, I've been your game of the strike 2 for Fiona. And I've been your game mother for this thing, but I also host What Am I Rolling, which is a twice monthly RPG one-shot podcast. And I also am the co-host of the DM's Book Club. But whatever, you can find those wherever you listen to podcasts. But let me tell you about RPGs, right? I'm going to recommend an RPG that I hadn't written this section before I came to this, but I bought it last night because it just came out. I want to recommend a solo RPG. So yes, one for you, Maddie. Void 1680 AM, a solo playlist building game. So essentially, it's almost as if you do your own Welcome to Night Vale. You get sort of prompts and stuff. It's based on the Rect system, Alone in the Darkness. I can't remember off the top of my head. And you take cards, you then put out music, and then you talk to callers. And what's really cool about the system is that you can go onto their website and you can also record your own voice message, which will then be used as under a Creative Commons thing, so that people who are playing this game on Twitch or on YouTube can get callers calling in and use those little audio clips. Sounds really good. So yeah, that's Void 1680 AM, a solo playlist building game by Ken Lowry, which came out today. That's on bannerlessgames.itch. uplift.io. So I would highly recommend checking it out because it sounds really cool and I want to play that. But I've got casting things. I'm going to go over to my Discord. I'm going to look over here because JC Darcy's messaged me. We have casting calls for Girls Run These Worlds. What? I know. We've got Hungover and High Ever, a D&D 5e urban fantasy bar crawl. Find the form on Twitter. I was like, find our form on Twitter? I'm not going to find a bar crawl on Twitter, Darcy. Don't be silly. But that sounds really bloody cool. Like, you got D&D, everyone's favorite, but a bar crawl, heck yeah. But also, it's okay if you don't drink. I'm happy with that. Next week, though, we have the return of Roll for Luck, anchor campaign DN'd by the one and only Rue. Please join returning cast and some brand new faces for it does say queerly. I almost said queenly, but also queerly and queenly.
Both.
Flavored adventure through the homebrew world. Wednesdays, 8 p.m. ET. Brilliant. Thank you. And yeah, if you fancy running a game, no matter what the system, no matter if it's just a small idea, you just like, I just want to do this thing, then the Creator app is open. It's on Girls Run These Worlds on the Twitch, on the Twitter. You can tell my brain is slowly leaking out because I'm like, I killed a player tonight. Oh my god, I have to deal with the consequences.
In character.
In character.
A character, not a player.
Wink. And we're going to finally raid. Yes, the old lady thing. We're going to raid D&D Jordan Leia, running a charity D&D stream. So we're going to go straight to their channel. Thank you so much for watching, folks. Thanks for staying with us. We're almost at the end. Do you know who the traitor is? Who's going to survive? Well, join us next week and find out. Thank you so much. See you soon.